Welcome back to the second session. I welcome you again. Now, the second session will be taken care by Dr. Pooja. Dr. Pooja is Associate Professor with 8 years of large experience in the field of education. She's not only skilled in lecturing but also in curriculum development, public speaking, Microsoft Office, and research related work. She has done a lot. Pooja ma'am, we welcome you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So we're just going to start in a moment. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. So today our concept is concerning to HR analytics. So if I say that for the concern of HR, we are talking about the employer and the employee, as you all are employers or employee also. So if I talk about any organization, or we can say every organization is unhappy in their own ways. Am I right? You are not happy with your employer that they are not increasing a good appraisal to you, or you're not happy with the ambience, or not happy with the benefits that you are getting from your employer. In the same manner, employer is also not happy from their employees. Right, what we are lacking over here is HR analytics. Although the employer and the employee both wants a good work, they all want to work. As an employee, if I say that we also want to work, as an employer also, they want to recruit a well person. But the problem is there is some gap between employer and employee. There can be the possibility that employee is having own expectations and employer is having own expectations. So there is a gap between their expectations. That is the predict when an employer hire an employee, hire with the some predictions or some expectations from that particular employee. In the same manner, employee is also having some expectations from their employer. And when it comes to together, they both are not happy with each other. So on that purpose, or for that, removing that lackness, or we are seeking the exact employee or the employer for each of them, we're going to study with the HR analytics. So as you can see on your screen that HR analytics is not, or HR is not related to human resource only. It is related to the different aspects concerning your predictions, concerning your recruitment, selection, your training, learning, development, all the parameters. But when we talk from the employee side, it consists of appraisals, it consists of compensations, and from the employer side, what they are expecting you as a results. It means whatever the cost they are bearing, it should be equivalent to the pay the people are giving. So in return, they are expecting some return from them. So the changing request from the HR management, if I say about the traditionally, the recruitment is all about, I need to recruit a manager. It is like this only. And then you are having a question in your mind, that is how you're going to recruit a manager. The current scenario is going to develop, I need a management. How do I know who will be the best fit for that particular job description? And in future, it going to that, can you recommend the best fit people to me in advance so that I have a ready bank of suitable candidates? You must have already aware about the concept that every organization is taking care or having a pool of applications with them, and they are having a ready bank with them for that they can need or recruit the people whenever the need arise in the organization. In the same manner, learning and development, traditionally, if I say, what course are available for the salesmen? But current, the scenario has changed that I need customer engagement training for my team. Like, you people are customer to me. I am engaging you with the help of some knowledge which I'm having, I'm sharing with you so that you also get some training in concerned area. But in the future, it's going to be like, can you notify Ram about his development needs? Also recommend developmental action plans of such people. It means the scenario is changing, the requirements are changing, the way of um, like raising a question, the way of requirements keep on changing according to the need. In the same manner, the compensation, traditionally it was said that Gabby has resigned, see how much we can give hike. As you also resigned from any of your last organization, definitely your if you are a qualitative employee for them or if you are a good talent for them, definitely they give you some hike according to your requirement. But currently it is updated to that I would like to be notified when the people are at risk of leaving. It means we are predefining, we are identifying earlier, or we are identifying in that manner if my employee is going to leave me, then how I going to retain that person? I'm just yes. Then we are having a future expectation. So the future, how it going to be with the compensation that I would like to have benchmark salary information. I would also like recommendations for retaining people. So the company is predicting in advance or they are setting a benchmark for their positions, for the designations, for the descriptions, and so on. And they are recommending to retain their people so that they are not going to spend again in the future for the another employee. Then the changing request and the leadership style also. What are the succession plans for team A during the traditional lecture? But when we talk about the current, we are going to identify who are the best leaders in this company, who best fits our succession planning. And when I'm talking about best fits, I'm obviously you people have already studied Deepak sir lecture also that talks about the goodness of it. So we are talking about that who is going to be the best fit for my plan, what competencies that will be the future predictions or the future how it going to be talk about the leadership, that what competencies best fit the current and the future leadership in the company, how do we nurture our current people and manage the succession planning, right? So these are the different changing scenarios from the HR manager point of view. Earlier the HRs used to such kind of statements, now it has been modified or amended to the current scenario, and definitely these types of current statements will going to be revised in the future also. Now all the things related to your HR is running through a software nowadays, which can be called as your HRIS, that is Human Resource Information System. It is my humble request to all the participants, if any student, if any faculty or the candidate is having a doubt, please raise your hand or you can write in the comment section also. Ms. Bean ma'am will help me out with those questions so that I can resolve simultaneously. So HRIS, you all must be having a ERP system or any other software system running in your organizations. So you are having such portals, such modules in your section, if I say about ERP, as we are also running some ERP, we are having such sections where we are getting the regular basis of attendance at the time of login, at the time of logout, and definitely the HR is also having other aspects also. HR must have a उनके मॉड्यूल में आपके पास कॉम्पनसेशन होगा कि किस एम्प्लॉय को कितना कॉम्पनसेशन मिल रहा है, उनका क्या डेमोग्राफिक्स है, what are the different benefits they are getting from the management, how the reports, what are the different if I say about the task allocated to them, the different communication levels, their performance management, and the different applicant trackings that to be in the HR manager module. So if I talk about the HR metrics, it talks about that value that the human resource function adds to the company with the cost that the function incurs. Every organization is working or spending money so that they get return from them. If the return is less, definitely in terms of finance, if I say about ROI, they are investing money in you to get hired, and if you are not getting them that much profit or income, you will be underperforming employee. So that will not help any organization, and definitely there will be a kind of a layoff or any kind of a warning or something else. Then you will start dissatisfying from the organization, and these are the basic reasons why you keep on changing. Then these are the different 14 metrics examples in the HR, that is time to hire. If I say about time to hire, it talks about when is the right time to hire a particular employee or the designation. If I say any kind of a mid session or in between you're running, it means जो creamy layer है उस particular time की, because everybody knows, if I say about the education sector as I belong to that the major recruitment is done during at the time of a January or during at the time of a August. If any of the employee or any of the professor leaves in between, that to be in March or in, if I say about a September, then definitely that was not the right time to hire an employee for the organization. Why is it so? Because that is the time when the creamy layer has been already allocated to some other organization. So I have to compromise on the quality if I say about, if my metrics are not clear, if my analytics not clear, that what is the time for my organization to get the people hired. When it comes your cost per hire, every organization must be focused on the what will be the total cost to hire a particular an individual in an organization, because they are supposed to calculate the ROIs also. So with the help of your HR analytics, you can identify that how much cost you should bear on what designation or on what job description also. Then there will be a early turnover. Early turnover time period is normally it is 12 months. So if an employee is leaving before the 12 months, that is known as your early turnover. So what a HR analytics or the working professional are supposed to do is to identify that if my employees are leaving, what will the reason why they are not completing the tenure. It means they are least bothered about their experience, they are least bothered about the benefits, they are least bothered about their compensation or something else. Because definitely these are the employees who are going to be hired in between. So they are not matching with the time to hire. So early turnover is also be analyzed with the help of HR analytics, through which we can retain our employees. Then the another thing is time since last promotion. Time since last promotion also help you to identify that when is the time to promote a particular employee in an organization. That can be done with the help of HR analytics only, because that promotion or that time will help you to turn up with how much work you have done throughout that particular duration, what kind of a performance you have given to the organization, what kind of a return you have given to your organization. That will actually identify that you will supposed to be promoted or not to be promoted. Just give me a second. Then we are having the performance and revenue per employee. As I said that ROI can be easily calculated with your HR analytics, then definitely the revenue per employee is generated by an employee can also be taken care through the help of a HRIS or any HR module which organization is running. Then we are having the performance and the potential metrics also, which actually tells, which helps an organization. Anyone having a query? Somebody is unmuted. Then we are having a billable hours per employee. It will also directly correlated with your performance and the potential of an employee, because how much work is prepared or how much the cost an organization is bearing on an employee can be taken care in a HR module or a ERP module if a organization is handling that. Then we are having an engagement rating also, that how we are engaging our employees in an organization, with providing different tasks, with giving different trainings, with giving them different development programs. Such kind of engagements can be taken care with the help of HR analytics also, or who is required. That is another aspect, that who or which employees require the training or the learning sessions. With the help of these things, or with the help of these modules also, we can go ahead with that. Then an HR is supposed to calculate the cost of HR per employee, because an HR is working on the recruitment, selection, and the different aspects of an organization depending upon the different nature of an organization. So the cost per employee in HR is supposed to be, take an example, if the number of resumes are there within HR, if I talk about the traditional aspect, then you can scrut how many resumes in a day, approx 10, 20 out of your 100. These are the your can be the limit. Or if I say that a resume is taking a 5 or 6 seconds और 5 or 6 minutes to be taken care. अगर किसी employer को आपका identify करना है resume, applicants are 100, definitely a simple HR manually is supposed to be going to be like identify कि कौन सा employee या sorry कौन सा candidate मेरे लिए valuable है. So how that person going manually वो पूरा resume go through करेगा, it will take approx 5 to 6 minutes per resume. But with the help of HR analytics, thousands of resumes can be scrutinized within 25 to 30 minutes, if I say. So that is why we need HR analytics or HR modules or HR matrices to be done, so that these things can be reduced, or the work of HR can be reduced, and HR can work upon the betterment for their employees. Then the ratio of HR professional to employee. Then the ratio of HR business partner per employee, and definitely the last aspect, the second last aspect would be your turnover. Then effectiveness of HR software, जो भी आप सॉफ्टवेयर हायर कर रहे हैं या ले रहे हैं, वो कितना आपके लिए इफेक्टिवली कैलकुलेट करके दे रहा है वो सारे एनालिटिक्स. एंड व्हाट विल बी द एब्सेंटिज्म, दैट इज द कॉमन इशू विद एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दैट व्हाई एम्प्लॉयज आर टेकिंग सो मच लीव्स. एंड दीज सिमिलर इफ आई से, जो मेट्रिक्स हैं हमारे, वही हमारे चैलेंजेस भी हो जाते हैं. That is identifying and hiring the candidates for the open jobs. Approx 36% organizations are facing this kind of a challenge. Then the conducting employee termination or the layoff, that is again a 26% of organizations are facing the problems of termination their employees due to the underperformance, or they are lay off the employees just because they can't afford those employees. Then managing the benefits and the perk programs, 23% are working or facing such kind of an issue while giving the employees benefits, and ensuring the internal and external compensation equity. If I say about these four challenges can be analyzed with the help of a HR analytics. These are the things through which we can resolve our areas. So if I say about data science application or the HR data analytics, the analytics are coming to the recruitment, as I said, कि resume जो आप ऑनलाइन पोर्टल पे भी अप्लाई करते हैं या एप्लीकेशन सेंड कर देते हैं, it is not going to be an easy task for an HR to do so. So how they're going to do? They are having some modules, they are having some their softwares through which they can type a keyword over there. So nowadays, the HR analytics are collaborating their hands with the AI. AI आपने अभी सर से सुना ही था, तो दीपक सर ने एक बात भी यही चीज कही थी. नाउ द थिंग्स आर टर्निंग टू एआई. एआई को प्रॉपरली इंस्ट्रक्शंस दी गई हैं विद द कीवर्ड एरियाज, विद द की थिंग्स, जिससे जो स्क्रूटनी ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस है वो विद इन फ्यू मिनट्स इट कैन बी डन with thousands of applicants or in lakh, if I say. Then AI in employee engagement. Anyone having idea what is employee engagement? Can anyone write in the chat? Okay, so employee engagement is employees को engage कर रहे हैं with the fruitful activities with the help of a training or some learning sessions. Like you are also engaged in learning something new from my knowledge, or I am also learning something new from your knowledge. So that is employee engagement for the betterment with the help of AI, because you are also using a machine to listen my lecture or listening my session. So this is what AI in employee engagement. AI in employee benefits, how the things classification जो अभी सर ने बताया कि आप classification के through अपने employee benefits को calculate कर सकते हैं with the help of some clusters, with the help of some feed of data. So these can be done. Then HR virtual assistants, आपने बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स पे विजिट भी किया होगा, तो देयर विल बी वर्चुअल असिस्टेंट्स जो आपके चैट्स या आपके क्वेरीज को रिजॉल्व करते हैं. लाइक योर चैट जीपीटी इज वन ऑफ देम, and that is another example related to it. आपने अपनी query उस पे put करी, instantly you are getting some feeded data जो एक common data हो सकता है, common message हो सकता है, that is HR virtual assistants with the help of AI. Then the voice of the employee definitely is the another data science application. This is the scenario if I say they are predicting also, because this data is till 2027. So the global HR analytics market size is expected to gain market growth in the forecast period of 20 to 25, with the CAGR in the forecast period to 2025, and will expect it to reach by 2025 from USD isn't, as you can see आप देखेंगे, that is 342.9 in 2016, and it is multifold approx 3 times in 2027. So these are the different key areas. आप देखेंगे the last point is employee engagement. Employee engagement is dramatically changing its position till 2027, or if I say about 2023, इतना change नहीं आया है, but from the for the next 4 to 5 years, it's going to change more. Then we are having payrolls, compensation. These are going to be changed drastically just because कि आपके HR analytics comes into the market, and now the employer are seeking attention. They are taking care of their money. They are taking care there of investments also, and they are valuing the employees. That is the major aspect. The stages of analytics in HR is four, that is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. The very first stage is descriptive, which actually describes what has happened to our employees, why they are not performing, why they're not meeting out our expectations, and so on. Then you are going to find out why something happened. If the performance of an employee is not matching up to the expectations of the employer, definitely something has happened to him. Maybe the possibility they are not happy with the environment, maybe they are not happy with the work, maybe they are not getting the full employment engagement, and so on. And on the basis of that particular data, when they find out the problem, what is, or they will diagnose the problem, then on that basis they can predict that what is likely to happen. If I know कि अगर आज बारिश हो रही है, तो मैं predict करूंगी कि there will be water blogging in my area. So that is what is likely to happen after this. If my employees are not happy, why they are not happy? It can be the possibility the environment is not favorable to them. Then on the basis of prediction will be that the person will leave the organization. That can be the one prediction. Then to reduce the employee turnover or reduce such activities, what I will do, I will go with the prescriptive analysis with the help of machine learning also. So these stages can also be gone through with the AI also. So what is to be done to hold my employees, to retain my employees? The very first step, if I say about the HR analytics, we are supposed to maintain with the data first. So every HR manager or the HR office bearer, the person should manage the data. It is a process of wrangling, cleaning, manipulating, and applying the structure to a particular data. And while maintaining the data management, we are supposed to follow the 80-20 rule. That we are supposed to spend 80% of our time to maintain the data and 20% of the time for the data analysis, because the data analysis is going to be done through our softwares now, so it will take less of time. So the जितने से ज़्यादा हम लोग जितना अपना data maintain कर सकते हैं concerning to our employees, that thing should be data management. Different tools can be used to manage the data. Database management system is one of them, and the information system and the different other software programs. आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी देखेंगे कुछ पोर्टल्स होंगे जहां आपका डेटा आपको डिस्प्ले हो रहा है, लाइक आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज फॉलोइंग आवर ईआरपी सिस्टम. So on our ERP system, we are having our own profile. I can easily analyze कि कितने changes आ रहे हैं, कितना मेरा better आ रहा है. For example, if I talk about my vacations, my leaves, all things come over there. Then we are having the different types of data management, that HR किस तरीके के data को manage कर सकते हैं. Firstly, the data integration. Another is data modeling, data storage, data catalogs, data processing, data governance, data lifecycle management, data pipelines, data security, and the data architecture. So these are the different types of a data management. It depends from organization to organization. It depends from industry to industry also what kind of a data they are supposed to manage. It is not applicable to all the industry. If I say common, no, it is not a common data, but depends upon the requirement of industry that what type of a data they are supposed to manage. So how the data management will help? It identifies the data needed to create information necessary to make the HR decisions. Definitely, whatever the information is with the HR, it helps to take them a decision. Then it defines the characteristics of the data, that it can be a quantified data or it can be a qualitative data. Then organizing those data in a manner that promotes integration, data quality, and accessibility when the data are longitudinal in nature. Longitudinal is the time duration. कि आप कितनी time duration, for example, an employee is working from the past 10 years, then you can have all the data related to that person, that on what basis you have promoted that, the data quality, the work or the performance. These are the different areas that a person can manage over there. Then restricting the access to the data to only the proper personas. हर कोई इसे यूज ना करे, बिकॉज देखिए जब एक एम्प्लॉय की सारी चीजें डिटेल ओपन हो जाती है तो इट विल बी अ क्वेश्चन मार्क टू ऑल द पीपल. सो फॉर ए HR मैनेजर वो उतना ही डेटा उनको डिस्प्ले में लाए जितनी रिक्वायरमेंट है. Manipulating and joining the data and adding the structure if needed. For the analytics part, Deepak sir has also commented that कि आपको अपने डेटा को या सैंपल्स पर्टिकुलरली वही लेंगे जो आपके लिए यूजफुल है. ऐसा नहीं कि आप किसी भी थर्ड या रैंडमली किसी भी पर्सन से फिल करा लें जो आपके डेटा या आपकी प्रॉब्लम के लिए सूटेबल ही नहीं है. So whatever data you are supposed to take, it should be under the कि आपका जो सैंपल्स हैं या आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट है फॉर द प्रेडिक्टिंग और फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ एनालिटिक्स, यू शुड हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर डेटा एंड यू कैन एक्सटेंड द मैनिपुलेशन टू अ सर्टेन टाइम पीरियड. हो ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सारी चीजें मैनिपुलेट कर देंगे एंड देन यू कम अप विद आउटपुट. इट इज नॉट लाइक कि आपने आउटपुट डिसाइड कर लिया एंड ऑन दैट बेसिस यू आर मैनिपुलेटिंग योर इनपुट्स. No, it should not like that. Manipulating to a certain extent only it is acceptable, like the biased responses can be reduced so that you come with the exact samples which actually responded properly. Then you should, or an HR should manage the security and the privacy of the data. So take an example of this, that how we're going to clean our data. From the this table you can see that a person is having a B button. B button is written approx 4 places, but for every 4 places you can see the employee ID is different. 16, 19, 18, 45, 43, 21, and then 1475. So this is what duplication of the data. So we are supposed to clean this particular data, and it will be like called as data manipulation, right? So data manipulation, just then data manipulation, if you can see a wide format for a particular employee ID is pre-test score and the post-test score. In the same manner, you can have a long format for the same also. That employee ID आप देखेंगे टेस्ट टाइम देखेंगे प्री टेस्ट और पोस्ट टेस्ट का, यानी कि एक ट्रेनिंग के बाद किसी एम्प्लॉय का स्कोर क्या रहा, प्री स्कोर क्या था उसका, आफ्टर गिविंग देम ट्रेनिंग इट हैज बीन इंक्रीज्ड और नॉट. So these are the data manipulations to a particular structure or a format in to be analyzed or visualized. Then there is a data structure also, that how data management में हमें ये बहुत ज़रूरी है that how we going to prepare the structure for our data. Structure can be of two types. It can be your structured or it can be unstructured. When we talk about a structured data, it generally maintains into a table or into a matrix. As you can see on your screen also, if I say about the structured data, there is a proper email, sender, receiver, and the subject line. Or you can see that how the companies are maintaining, that is the pricing data, CRM data, that is collaborated at a one place. But when we talk about the unstructured data, there is no as such कि आप उसको फाइंड करने में ही आपको टाइम लग जाएगा. डेटा माइनिंग इतना मुश्किल हो जाएगा उसमें से. सो जो भी आपका, इसीलिए 80-20 रूल भी यही कहता है, यू आर सपोज टू स्पेंड मैक्सिमम ऑफ योर टाइम इन मैनेजिंग द डेटा. आप अपना डेली रूटीन भी मैनेज करते हैं तो मैक्सिमम टाइम आप उसमें लगाते हैं, उसको एनालाइज करने में इट विल, यू शुड गो फॉर द लेस ऑफ टाइम. Then this is another way of representing your structured and unstructured. As you can see, unstructured data is 80% and 20% is your structured data. स्ट्रक्चर डेटा से आपने क्या किया, डिफरेंट फैक्टर्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. आप अपने सिस्टम में भी अगर देखेंगे, अभी किसी ने सिस्टम से लॉग इन किया है तो आपका डेस्कटॉप बड़ा इल मैनर्ड होगा और किसी का इल मैनर्ड होगा. सो जिनका इल मैनर्ड है या किसी ने फोल्डर्स नहीं बनाए, सिंपल फाइल्स हैं आपके डेस्कटॉप पे, that would be the unstructured data. And when you prepare some files or the folders, those folders will consist of number of files, that would be our structured data. HR analytic project is having a particular lifestyle with the 7 steps, that is question formulation. Sir has also said that you should focus on the problem before doing anything. As sir given an example कि अगर आपको माउंटेनिंग करनी है तो the first thing what you going to take with it or target should be that the mountain existence should be there. अगर वही नहीं होगा तो सारी चीजें या प्रिपरेशन आप जो कर रहे हैं that is all useless. So the question formulation should be there. Then there will be a data acquisition. Now you're going to talk about कि मुझे पानी लेना है, कपड़े लेने हैं या कोई और accessories लेनी है या कोई tools लेने हैं. Then you will going to arrange those data. अब जब आप कहीं मार्केट में घूमने जा रहे हैं या कहीं पे भी जा रहे हैं तो यू विल प्रिपेयर सच लिस्ट. फिर लिस्ट किस बेसिस पे बनती है कि आपको ईटेबल्स क्या लेके जाने हैं, आपको ड्रेसेस क्या लेके जाने हैं. दीज आर द डिफरेंट हेडिंग्स यू विल कैरी एंड देन यू विल एनालाइज द डेटा, राइट. After analyzing the data, you had some interpretation. We're going to discuss it one by one and further also. Like data analysis having so many tools and techniques, that is mathematics, stats, machine learning, which sir has already discussed, computational modeling and simulation, text analysis, and the qualitative analysis. So these are the different tools and techniques through which you can analyze your data. So mathematics, if I say, everybody is done through with the arithmetic, with the called of algebra, calculus. These are the different things you have already calculated and you can done with the help of your software also. When your machine is consisting of all these aspects, you are supposed to just give a value to it. Just you have to feed the data only. The result will be in your hands. Then the descriptive statistic, that is central tendency, mean, median, mode. Then you are having a dispersion also. And I hope parametric and non-parametric is known to all of you. Then the machine learning, sir has taken a like a good session on this machine learning, that it can be a supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. So I'm not touching this area also. Then the computation modeling and simulation. Computation modeling having the different models or different analysis like Monte Carlo analysis. ये चीजें तभी possible है when we go with the hands-on on these activities. राइट, बट दिस इज ऑल अबाउट अभी हम थ्योरेटिकल कर रहे हैं या लैब में नहीं बैठे हैं. हाइब्रिड में इट वुड बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू टीच यू ऑल द practical aspects of these things. So these are the simulation is the another way that you are living up real life. जैसे कि आप 3D मूवीज देखते हैं, 9D मूवीज देखते हैं, that is an example of a simulation. So HR can also use such models and techniques to analyze their data. Then we are having a data interpretation and the storytelling, the process of making sense of data analysis findings and evaluating research questions and hypotheses, as well as dissemination, the finding to different stakeholders. That it helps HR to take the decisions and make a judgment. It helps in HR to understand the context, because data interpretation यानी data analysis आपका जो values बता रहा है, जैसे कि सर ने आपको अभी बताया था 0.05 इज द पी वैल्यू. व्हाट इट मीन्स कि आपका जो नल हाइपोथेसिस है वो सिर्फ इतना ही सेटिस्फाई हो रहा है. 95% इज ऑल्टरनेटिव. दैट इज व्हाई वी आर फेल टू रिजेक्ट एक्सेप्ट योर null hypothesis and we are accepting the alternative. So these are the things come from the interpretation of your values and how you will going to tell the stories or interpretation to the layman so that they can understand the concept or the context in the name of data analysis finding. So the difference in interpretation need not to be a bad thing, and it can lead to a meaningful conversation also. So storytelling can be done with the help of a communication, connection, and the clarity. The person who tells the story has a big responsibility. Control the message regarding the interpretation of the data. Because rumors is the another form of a communication. But the person is not authentic. That is why the rumors are coming up. So HR is having a big responsibility to tell the exact story to the management, that why the employees are not turning up, why the employee turnover ratio is high, why my employees are not happy while working with an organization. Why the HR is having such things? Because HR is supposed to analyze all these things because the organization is bearing cost on it. HR analytics is a habit. It is not a one-time activity. Like when you are doing your yoga, doing some exercise, going on a walk, that is all what? That is a habit you have created to maintain your health. In the same manner, for a HR, the HR analytics must be a habit so that they can realize the current problems or they can help an organization or the management to develop the areas and prescribe a way to reach to their desired state of level of. That's all from my side. If any candidate is having a doubt or any query concerning the same, please, you can unmute your mic or you can write in the chat also. Nazbina, that's all from my side.
So our second session is actually it has ended successfully. Very well explained by Dr. Pooja. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Our next session is with Professor Dr. Urvesh Chaudhary. She is PhD in HR from Gautam Buddha University, Greater Noida. She has vast experience of more than 27 years in the field of software development, academics, project and placement. In her software development lifespan, she worked on 18 projects. One of the major projects done by her is material requirement planning, including bill of material purchase, receiving and inspection in stores, Production Planning and Control and Dispatch of Goods for Indication Instruments Private Limited, Faridabad. Her area of expertise includes organization behavior and human resources, entrepreneurship development, and research methodology. She has authored 3 books. One, Organization Behavior and Management Process. Another one is on research methodology and quantitative techniques. And third one is in consumer behavior. She's also having 6 edited books till date, and 5 students have completed their PhD under her guidance. She is the member of advisory board of Sharda University. She is also the associate editor of UGC approved New Era Journal and the blind peer reviewed Primex Journal. Beside that, she is also the paper reviewer for Inder Science Management Journal. She has published 60 research papers in national and international journals. She has attended and presented papers in 35 national and international conferences. She has chaired more than 13 national and international conferences, and she has organized 3 national and 3 international conferences and various other competitions as well. Ma'am has also got Best Professor Award by ESN Research Foundation in 2019. She has been given Acharya 2021 and 2022 award on 5th of September 2021 and 2022. She is also conferred with Peace Award by Commissioner of Faridabad for her contribution during COVID time. We are grateful that you are here with us, ma'am. Urvesh, ma'am, we are welcoming you on this session. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Majapin ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity that I can interact with the wonderful audience today. So, good evening, all of you. Hope I am audible. I can see Miss Meenakshi Kaushik, Mr. Jay Kumar. Are you there? Am I audible to you all? Miss Nikhat?
Yes, ma'am.
So from the morning till this time, you have been hearing to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Deepak and Dr. Pooja, who have told you about the HR analytics and the basically what are the tools and techniques we are using in the HR analytics. Have you understood the concept of HR analytics? Basically, what HR analytics is? Before I go ahead with my topic, I would like to know, have you understood the topic, basically what HR analytics is and why analytics is required in HR? What? Right, right. Just my concern is that because if I am going, my topic, as you know, is on talent acquisition analytics or talent acquisition analytics. So before we go to that particular topic, we should have a crystal clear knowledge about basically what HR analytics is. What do you mean by analytics? What exactly you mean by analytics? It's just an analysis of the data. So when I compare my system of HR along with the traditional system of HR, the difference which has come nowadays is of analytics itself. That is analysis only. Previously, what we used to do, we were analyzing the data, but everything was manual or it was kept on the computers in the form of Excel sheets or in the form of data bank that was in the PDF forms. But it was really difficult to search out the data on the basis of some keywords. Afterwards, we have proceeded from this to job portals and LinkedIn, where we can update our profile in job portals. We can update our profiles and we can keep our professional data, which can be visualized by all the different type of companies or all the HRs who are looking for the candidate like us. So basically, they are filtering out our uh, candidature from the different sites. But ultimately, when we were talking about all these things, at that time they were in the small bits and pieces. Everyone was not aware about this, And then came the pandemic in 2019, which has made everything converted from the manual system to automated system. And then they started recruiting the people not only through the telephonic interviews or the Skype interviews, but on the using the concepts of artificial intelligence. There are certain softwares came and there are certain apps came on which basically first and second round of interviews were happening automatically. So whenever you was feeding your data related to your job profile or the candidature for the job applications, at that time they started asking for the video recordings or the introduction about yourself. So the way you are introducing yourself and the way you are basically telling about yourself verbally in a video form, then many of the things were clear. So the one introductory round, interaction with the HR, and the screening of your resume, that particular two steps were cut off. And everything is basically having a money cost associated with that. Everything is having a money cost associated with that. So when we are basically making use of this analytics, we are basically, the company are not only getting the benefit in the terms of money, but they are also getting the talent, which actually is a long lasting talent and the accurate talent. कई बार आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, in the organizations also they hire a very good candidate with full enthusiasm that we have hired so and so person at so and so salary, and he can do wonders in the organization. But actually when the person joins the organization, at that time all the expectation that the management was having with that particular guy all gets flopped. Why? Because when I am knowing about a person in an interview of around 15 to 20 minutes or 15 to half an hour or 1 hour, I'm not able to make out everything about him. I'm not able to make out everything about him. What I require is basically, if I want to know someone, I should have the complete data. Suppose a person with 25 years of experience is there whom you want to hire for your organization. So how you can come to know about 25 years of experience in 25 minutes? No. If I talk about the manual system or the automated system, I am not able to make it up. But if I have the data of 25 years, which is automatically stored in the database, like LinkedIn, everything is over there. Even the people are basically, they are endorsing your skills. है ना? They are endorsing your skills, and whatever you are writing is visible to everyone. So you are not able to give the false information. And the organization where you're working, they are also available over there. So that data is going to the database. That means it has been stored in the data warehouse. And it is a art which we as an HR person has to learn, how we can extract the right kind of data from such a big domain or the pool of uh, applications or pool of people, talented people from there. So if I have to acquire such type of the talent, what I have to make use is basically data mining. So I have to mine the data from that pool so that I can get the right kind of talent which I basically want to hire. And this talent can be hired if I know what is the profile or what is basically the job requirement, job description, job specification, and what should be the skill set and competency level of the guy whom I want to hire. Then I can search those particular people on the particular pattern, and this pattern recognition can help me in basically digging out the right kind of data. That means मैंने इसके अंदर I am basically making use of 4 steps, 4 kind of analytics. That is basically descriptive analytics. First, I am doing the descriptive analysis because I am basically trying to fetch out the data for my requirement, and at the time of descriptive analytics I am also doing the pattern matching. Once the descriptive data is available with me, I have available with me in the form of dashboard, in the form of graphs, or in the form of tabular form, whatever form I want to take it out. When it is available with me, now the next step is the diagnostic steps, where I would like to diagnose that which particular candidates from this pool are exactly suitable for my job profile. So I will be taking out and I will be diagnosing those kind of pool from that major pool which I have get as a resultant. Once that pool is in front of me, now the thing is that predictive, how I have to predict the which one will be better for me. And then there are another tools which we'll be using, that we are having R programming. In further, when I will start my formal presentation, I will be discussing about how the various tools we can use to basically predict which talent is suitable for us. And once the predictive is done, and then comes my step number 4, that is my prescriptive. And whatever resultant I'm getting from the predictive analytics, at that time those particular are basically finalized according to the higher ranking for my organization. If A is not high, basically joining the organization, then I'll go for the B, and so on as goes on. This is a little bit of brief about what we will be covering in today's session. So my topic for today's session is basically role of HR analytics in talent acquisition. I hope you have understood basically what we are going to study today. So a formal HR analytics definition, basically it enables an organization to measure the impact of a range of HR matrices on overall business performance, and it makes decision based on data. Means we are not taking the decision either on our intuition or without any base. We are basically taking the decisions based upon the availability of the data. The data availability can be of last few years, last many years, because if I talk about nowadays, the scenario has totally changed from 2019 on 2020 onwards, when we got pandemic. So if I talk about the previously what tools were utilized, those might not be working for today's scenario. So I will be dealing with the data from 2020, 21, 22, and currently in 23. So I can make use of this particular data to make the decision. So it will all depend upon the question, or all depend upon the what kind of talent I want to hire. That data should be of how much duration. And it also provides data backed insights on what is working well in human capital assets and what is not, so that organization can make improvements and plan more effectively for the future. And for me, HR analytics is of great importance in an organization because it enhances employee well-being and help keep them happy and motivated in their work. And it has been noticed, in the last few years after the implementation of HR analytics, we are able to not only able to hire a great talent, but we are able to retain that talent in the organization. And this retention of the talent in the organization is because we are basically getting the right fit according to the competency of the employee and the requirement of the organization. As the studies have already told, 50% of employees leave the organization when they are not satisfied with the organization job profile, or because they are hired at the time saying something, and the kind of work they are doing in the organization is something, or the culture of the organization. But all these things can be reduced, all these differences can be reduced if you are making use of HR analytics. There are we are having the HR matrices. I think Pooja ma'am also touched this particular topic. We have six key areas in HR, that is HR staff and expense, compensation, retention and quality, staffing, training, development. And when we talk about HR, at that time, basically, we have taking care of all these components of the matrices. In HR staff and expenses, we are covering HR to employee ratio, total HR staff, HR expenses for full-time employees. In staffing, we include the number of positions filled, time to fill, cost per hire, annual turnover rate. As our topic is more towards the talent acquisition, so we will be covering this particular portion more. And then compensation, we have the annual wage and salary increase, payroll as percentage of operating expense, benefits cost as a percentage of the payroll. And under training, we have the hours of training per employee, total cost for training, percentage of employee participating in tuition reimbursement program. Then retention and quality, average tenure of the employees, percentage of new hires retained for 90 days, performance quality of employees in first year. And finally, in development, we have the position filled internally, percentage of employees with the career plan. So these are the six components of the HR metrics. Now we come to what is HR analytics and how does it works. So when I talk about the HR analytics, I have already told you that it is a technique that helps an organization to draw useful insights on various elements associated with HR functions and identify how investments made by an organization in the whole human capital contribute. And the contribution goes towards the top line, that is top management. And we are basically minimizing the risk by using this HR analytics, and we are decreasing the cost of hiring. HR analytics is not only concerned with the collection of data, but also uses various statistical models, processes to draw a parallel between people data, business data. The matrices calculated can help the managers to improve the process or activities in an organization, and this is what HR analytics is all about. So now we will focus on our own topic and see the picture and tell me what this picture is trying to say. Can you tell me what this picture is trying to say? This is a meaningful picture. I'm telling you something. Yes? Can anyone tell me what picture is depicting? I think it will be better if we interact with each other. Otherwise, it will become monotonous. So you might be seeing that there is a round which is showing the gap analysis, workplace planning, analytics, talent, recruitment, growth, prediction, sustainability, onboarding, retention, chatbots, continue assessment, interview, screening. Everything are related is over there. And after doing so much for so many people, we are able to find one. There are number of we are having around 9 people standing in the row, and on these 9 people we have performed all these activities, and after that we are able to choose any one. And what if he says no to the offer which you are giving to him? That means all the exercise which you have done is waste, and it is a very time consuming and expensive exercise to hire the higher level professionals. At junior level we are able to hire the professionals easily, but at a higher level it becomes very difficult to hire the professionals. So there is nothing that can boost your business better than a great hire. Finding someone who fits in your organization, is energetic and inspires those around him, does wonders for a company both in moral and the revenue. So but how do you find these great hires? The question, millionaire question, is this. In this slide I've told you it is very difficult to hire a right kind of person, but the question is, but how do you find those great hires? From where you can get these great hires who can make a change to your organization? Can you answer me? What is the answer to this? From where we can find these great hires? So basically this is known as the talent acquisition, and this great hire come from talent acquisition with the help of analytics, and this particular thing is termed as the talent acquisition analytics. This can be divided into 5 parts. That is, define what you want to achieve with the TA analytics, because what you want to achieve is basically a great hire. So first you have to define what you need, what qualities you require in the person whom you want to hire. So define what you want to achieve with the analytics, then you collect the data related to that and identify what you can improve. And once this is over, improve your analytical capabilities and monitor the progress. And while you are doing all this, in this basically there is a one common talent acquisition matrix which need to be analyzed, and that is time to fill, time to hire, yield ratio, candidate NPS, candidate assessment data, sourcing channel cost, and these things are required to be over here. So now the question is basically, you have seen this particular analytics. Now we will go one by one. So when I talk about the talent acquisition analytics, it involves various matrices that are tracked and analyzed with the goal of improving your recruiting and selection process. And this is typically done through a tool. And this tool is known as the ATS, that is Application Tracking System. your pre-employment assessment suit or Excel. And usme basically we have some relevant metrics we want to track. Number one is your time to fill. This is a metric that measures the number of calendar days it takes to find and hire a new candidates. So this is typically the time between a job requisition approval till the candidate accepts your offer. And many factors can affect your time to fill rate, including supply and demand for the specific role, the speed of the recruiters, etc. And next is the time to hire. Time to fill is from the starting till start when you get the approval for uh, getting the job filled. And time to hire is basically time to accept. That differs from time to fill in that it measures the number of days between a candidate being approached. Approval has nothing to do with it. That is basically is your between a candidate being approached by a recruiter or applying for a role and when they accept the job. So essentially time to hire tells you how long it takes for a candidate to move through your entire hiring process. It indicates how well your recruiters are performing. And the shorter is the time to hire, the better is for your candidates, and the less likely it is that your competitors will slap them up. This metrics can also give you a clear idea of where the bottlenecks are in the recruitment process. Let's go to the metrics. So this is basically we have 4 stages when we are going through the recruitment process. सबसे पहले क्या होता है basically we require the approval and intake meeting and job postings. So first of all we need the approval from the management. Once we get the approval from the management, we start looking for the candidate. When we start looking for the candidate, we are basically doing the posting on the job portals or newspaper advertisements or the whatever the media is there, internal or external sources, we are trying to approach the candidate. So once this particular is there, the main difference between time to fill and time to hire is there. In time to fill, we have this particular stage included. In time to hire, this stage has been left out. So next stage is once the job has been posted, the candidate enters into pipeline now because he has applied for the job and you have done the screening and you call the applicant whether he is interested or not and for the process, whatever it is. So candidate enters the pipeline, phones in person interviews, offer extension acceptance, and the candidate onboarding starts. So these are the 4 stages. When I talk about the time to fill, we have the first 3 stages. And when I talk about the time to hire, we have the second and third stage only. So this is the difference between the time to fill and time to hire. When I'm talking about the recruitment yield parameter, that is basically how we start. If I talk about the first parameter, that is required approved intake and job postings, we are basically getting the. So why we call it as the pyramid, because we get lot of applications. Suppose I have given advertisement of one particular job posting. I have given the various job portals. So I am receiving 250 applications. This is just an example for you. So to calculate basically what will be the yield ratio. So we have 250 applications received for that particular job. When we will do the phone screening, at that time we will come to know many of the people have just posted for the sake of posting or they thought चलो भेज देते हैं. होता है ना, whenever we are also going through some job requirement, अच्छा चलो भेज देते हैं, मन करेगा तो चले जाएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं जाएंगे, ठीक है ना, और हमने भेज दिया. So this is the way how we get, and when actual phone screening is done, at that time we come to know that out of this 250, only we are getting the yield of 20%. That means 50 people were found who said yes that they want to go for the job process or the job screening process. जब हमने इन 50 के ऊपर काम किया तो फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यू लिया. So we ourselves has the demarcation. Some people do not reach the venue for the interview, or some come for the interview but they are not fit for the job, and so on. So basically ये जो 50 लोगों का 50 कैंडिडेट्स रह गए थे, that is again reduced to 50%. तो अब क्या yield जो है वो पहले जितनी थी उससे रिड्यूस होकर 20% आ गई थी, अब 20% का भी 50% रह गया. दैट मीन्स वी वर लेफ्ट विद द 25 कैंडिडेट्स. उसके बाद फिर हमने एक केस स्टडी एक्सरसाइज की टू सी वेदर द कैंडिडेट्स विल बी एबल टू हैंडल द job in the real time environment or not. So whatever the profile is there, then we come to know that out of 20 only 15 were moved ahead. That means yield has reduced to 60%. और अल्टीमेटली आपका क्या हुआ, वो 15% के ऊपर हमने इंटरव्यू करवाया विद द एग्जीक्यूटिव टीम, इट गॉट रिड्यूस टू 5, दैट इज 33%. And finally we are giving the offer to 2 people, that is basically 2 out of 5 is 40%. लेकिन मैं अगर इस 250 का परसेंटेज निकालूं, 250 का 2% निकालूं, तो yield ratio is 0.8%. So this is a tedious job to hire, or the talent acquisition. Talent acquisition in itself is a very tedious job. When we go for the talent acquisition analytics, at that time basically we are able to save our time on these particular things, because there we are not taking into the consideration the applications talent that we are taking from the database. So how analytics can help in recruiting the right talent is the question, because we are talking about that only. So basically, whenever we are talking about the HR analytics talent acquisition, there are certain benefits. Number one benefit is that elimination of bias, because whenever we are going through the manual mode of selection of the application, at that time what happens, suppose someone has some references come to me, or some of my company's employee has referred his references, or many times it happens someone comes to me and I think he's needy, so he is more in need of the job, or some people are having male ego, so they don't want to hire the female employees. So there are a lot of things due to which the biasness can come. So if we go for the recruiting using analytics, then elimination of biasness is done. So recruiters consciously or unconsciously make very common errors while making selection decisions. It can be hello error, central tendency error, first impression error. These errors occur because of previous knowledge about the situations, cultures. Using facts and figures can help remove the bias. So, and this is possible only when I am working with the HR analytics. Number two, bucket of benefits or non-monetary rewards. HRD instruments play a great role in determining the personality of an individual, and the organizations can use the data from the test instrument administered to develop or create certain benefits as per the personality style or the inclination of an employee. So third is the target setting. So HR analytics can use the previous year data and performance appraisal and evaluation data, apply predictive analysis to frame policies or set targets for the kind, type, and number of talent required to conduct the business in a smooth and the efficient manner. And we can also predict the success rate by using the analytics. Analytics can be used for by the companies to predict the incumbents' future performance. This helps the organization in succession and career planning, as the companies can easily use the actual data, characteristics with the required standard characteristics associated with the job role to which the employees may be promoted in case of the succession planning. And it can, with the help of AI, can help companies to identify the right platform for looking for the right candidates, which can save a lot of cost for the company. So AI can do wonders nowadays. In the morning session, you must have listened to Deepak sir. He has told how AI can be used for different things to get performed. Now the thing is that why TA analytics matters so much for us. So basically, the impact of an advanced high maturity people analytics capability on business results is substantial, and enhancing it can increase the value of TA and the HR function to the business. So considering the who's and how's of recruiting analytics impact not only help stakeholders appreciate the value that using analytics for talent acquisition can bring to the organization, but also help guide your analytics approach and develop a roadmap for the journey. And first step to closing the capability gap and the increasing analytics maturity is to understand how talent acquisition analytics affect key stakeholders and what both they and organization can gain out of it. So you can consider the outcome stakeholders driving towards and the type of insights that will support achieving these outcomes. Now, the question which I asked you in the starting comes again. Have you ever wondered why someone who seems like a great fit and on outstanding hire ends up being a May employee? Can you tell me? Yes, can anyone tell me this? Yes? So we come to the framework for defining leading recruiting analytics. Basically, it refers to three primary categories of measurement, that is efficiency, effectiveness, impact, are leveraged across four types of analysis, that is descriptive, relative, analytic, and predictive. I already told you that we have the four. As the framework progresses from right to left to right, the model increases in complexity of data and system tapped, and the sophistication of analytics techniques are basically used. A robust infrastructure enables the analysis with multiple data sources, repository, analytic tools, staff capabilities, visualization, and all are focused on the business information need to the end users. So, see, have a look at this particular. I'm increasing the slide size so that you can see the framework actually. See, when I talk about the framework, I've already told you it is working on the three principles only, that is efficiency, effectiveness, and impact. So when I talk about the efficiency, is the resource utilization process outcome of the organization, because all the quality standard says that it should be the minimum cost and the maximum utilization. So for that we have to make the 100% resource utilization in the organization, whether it is in the form of assets, if it is in the form of resources, or it is in the form of anything, but the resource should be higher. And we are talking about the talent acquisition, that means we should be able to hire the resource at the minimum cost with maximum competency level. So whenever I talk about the efficiency, we should be talking about the volume, time, cost, and source. So we will be hiring the volume, vacancies, time to fill, sources of hires, external benchmarks, because we are in short of time. So I'll not be discussing on these pointers, but in next some another session we will be taking these in detail. So this is the first particular part. Number two is the effectiveness. That is, we are talking about the talent outcomes. Here, key analytics is quality of candidates which we are going to hire, and key measures for this is basically quality of candidate, quality of hire, candidate pool path, pool depth, new hire performance, retention, speed of competency. And when I talk about the impact business outcomes, so this influence on the business outcomes, critical role hiring, staffing versus requirements, net hires, workforce requirement planning, TA business results, and so on. So this is basically the framework. And when I come out from this particular framework, based on this particular framework, and are talking about the infrastructure, reporting system, and the governance, end user requirements, we have the ATS, the CRM, HCM, ERP warehouse, and end user requirements will be used to make the dashboard and visualization. I have taken the one screenshot of dashboard because we will not be able to make the dashboard right now. But I'll show you basically how the dashboards are made, what they look like. Analytics team staffing and statistical analysis tools can be used. As in the morning, Deepak sir were also talking about the R software, R studio. So when I am talking about the analysis spectrum, the internal TA data, talent acquisition data is available with me, and on that I can use the tool of descriptive. है ना? I can use the descriptive, and basically here I will be able to know what is occurring, how much many long, from where the data is being coming. And into that I will add the external TA data, making it relative. It will tell the how well are we performing, which tactics work best, and how do we compare the data to the others. And then on that we will be putting the analytics and find out the talent business data. So here we will be able to find out the relationship between activity and outcomes, between cost and the effectiveness, and finally we will come to the predictive. So what will the future look like? What tactics more influence TEA business outcomes will be finalized. So if I talk about the future of talent acquisition, it has a great high impact, and value with the cognition part, and high impact, high value application of using analytics for talent acquisition focuses on desired talent and business outcomes to provide actionable results. And these enable robust decision support related to candidate selection process, budget resource investments, and TA activity contribution to business objectives. So new advancements in cognitive technology are gaining foothold in TA, creating opportunities for increased efficiency, accuracy, and insights. While these are advancing rapidly, the most ready now solutions exist in candidate sourcing and screening, and can potentially increase new higher quality and reduce the impact of the biasness. So this is the diagram which is basically talking about the three major sections of a TA. One is the cognitive insights, which is represented in the blue color, cognitive automation, which is represented in green color, and cognitive engagement represented in the gray color. So when I talk about the cognitive insights, it is making use of the artificial intelligence and pattern recognition both. So talent analytics matrices and insights to drive decision making, candidate scoring against desirable skills and competency. That is basically find out by the AI. है ना? We will be able to, because the data is already there with us, we have to dug that data, or we have to do the data mining over there. So artificial intelligence is the best tool to take out the data. So candidate scoring against desirable skills and competency can be measured with the help of artificial intelligence, and the top rated talent can be taken out. Then pattern recognition is also a major thing which we can use. Basically, it is used for resume screening and the candidate experience, and that also pattern recognition also works closely with the data mining to identify the sequences and logical grouping in the data. And nowadays, you must have talk. Lot of buzzword is there. Chat GPT. People are making use of Chat GPT, and Chat GPT has one another uh, application, that is smart chatbots, where you can interact with the people also, and it has been also noticed and observed by the AI tools, and they are able to take out the. And recently, you must have seen that CEO of Google has said that in coming times we do not need to check the different parameters during the testing. Even the using eye retina, they can come to know what is the health issue that body is having. The similar way here, we are basically in smart chatbots are able to take out how the candidate whom you are interviewing is performing. So whether whatever he is saying or she is saying is basically true or not. So interactions with the user to achieve specific objects can be done using the smart chatbots. Interview boards for initial candidate assessments are also being devised here. We have they have a very nominal subscription for a year, using which we can make use of the smart chatbots. Then we have the semantic computing, that is text analytics, computer vision, voice recognition to understand the semantics. So specific media portfolio scans for the candidate screening can be done, and this is mostly used by the centers where voice recognition or the voice based jobs are there. Third part is the cognitive automation. When I talk about the cognitive automation, we are making use of data mining and robotics process automation. Data mining is powered by machine learning to evolve with time and experiences to manage the unstructured data. And routine, standardized, manually extensive, high volume tasks. Automation of manual license and document verification process can be done using the robotic process automation. So this is basically a cognitive structure of TA. Now the question comes, we are studying about so much. So will this talent acquisition impact? That means how analytics can improve the talent acquisition. So improving retention rates in the top reason employers having turned to talent analytics to help inform their decisions according to a study by Career Builder. More than half, that is 56% of employees use data to increase the retention, the study showed. Other reasons including identifying skill gaps, building better job offers, and finding out what candidate wants. In hiring, data can be gathered on applicants that will serve as the best first layer of the information to select which candidates to consider for a position. Data or talent analytics is becoming more used across industries from retail to banking to manufacturing. And according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, that is CEO survey, 50% of CEOs use talent analytics to help in hiring and retaining good employees. Now the question is how organization can begin to upgrade now. We are talking about the talent analytics, but how it can be implemented into the organization. Detailed process I will not be able to explain today due to lack of time, but I'll give you an overview. So to understand the most useful recruiting analytics, we can recommend the following. That is, we have to make the business strategy according to that. Decision support system and benchmark measurements are to be defined. So in addition, include these infrastructure consideration when designing or delivering of new talent acquisition, that is data source integration, visualization, and analytic capabilities. Analyzing these areas gives you a gauge of where you stand, where strategic opportunities lie, and what infrastructure components to target so that you can begin to use analytics for talent acquisition and derive tangible insights and business value from your existing data. So in today's world advancement of technologies, we have combined with the predictive analytics and has exponentially enhanced HR purpose in every HR aspect. And it generates insights that cannot be achieved through traditional benchmarking, as the traditional analytics in the are reactive, whereas HRPA is a proactive and helps to predict the future using statistical machine learning, data mining modeling systems. And the benefits of HR analytics are many, including improved ROI, improved retention rates, improved business processes, improved engagement, and reduced turnover rates. We have the recruiting employees who will be the high performance. We have the employees leaving the company can also be done. So when I'm talking about the recruiting employees who will be high performance can be recognized, we have the organization have a huge amount of data about their employees, their personal details, education, family, background, and so on. So they also have data about the employees' performance behaviors, hence they can correlate all three dimensions to determine the typical profile of an employee. So who is likely to be successful with them. So that is the power of predictive analytics. One of the main benefit is employee engagement also. And then we have the performance predictions. Then analytical models we can use in the recruitment. For the recruitment phase, we can make use of simple approach to scoring of candidates. Your score can be a weighted average of skills which are required. The weight can be determined by the importance attached to the different skills as obtained by the managers, supervisors. This could be carried out with the use of analysis of variance. You all must be knowing about this. You must have studied in the stats also. They can be utilized with the use of analysis of variance as well as multiple linear regression to determine what factors lead to possible high performance. Many softwares, including Excel, RStudio, can be used to do this particular thing. Analytical models we may use in the L&D phase also. That is, skill gap analysis can be calculated So an effective learning and development strategy relies on a process in which one continually moves through learning, attaining competencies, and then move to organizational capabilities. So when I talk about an example, we have a certain list of competencies which are required in an employee. So when an organization looks at competencies required in employees, it can have the communication skills, written and spoken skills, business acumen, that is keenness and quickness in understanding, dealing with the business situation in a manner that is likely to lead a good outcome, planning and organization, problem solving skills, future developments, changing markets. These are some of the things. Changing business landscapes, process and performance indicators, identifying resource requirements, supply chain management, market knowledge. These are some of the factors which we look into the right. And using the graph theory or graphs, we can depict the skill gap analysis in this particular form. This is a web diagram, and one can apply skill gap analysis in L&D phase to identify the skill need to be enhanced by training and development. And here you might be seeing in this particular diagram, we have basically put up, and here we have different type of skills required. This is communication, this is business acumen, this is planning organization, this is problem solving skills, this is, and this is basically rating how the employees are having different type of skill set. And on the basis of this need gap, skill gap need, we are able to design what training and development activities are to be considered for which employees, and this is again the tool of business analytic and predictive tool. For analytical model, we can apply principal component analysis factor, so to determine inherent dimensions in the skill required in the employees, to determine inherent dimension existing in the employee skill set. We can make use of K-mean cluster analysis to determine group of employees having homogeneous skills, and factor analysis in HR context can also be implemented. So, so how to implement HR analytics in your organization? So it's simple. Encourage a culture of database decision making. Number two, identify a question you want to answer. Number three, collect the data. Number four, interpret the results and take the actions. And the major challenges of implementing analytics, Harvard Business Review identified the biggest obstacle for adoption. Uh, he said that it is inaccurate, inconsistent, or hard to access data requiring too much manual manipulation, and a lack of analytic acumen or skill among HR professionals. So this is basically the challenges which are basically analytics is making. If I talk about the future of analytics, it will change the recruitment function by automating screening of the candidates. This has downstream benefits for performance management, turnover, and the workforce planning. So this is what I want to deliver. Any questions or queries, please come up. Before we wind up the session, I would like to take your queries. If you have any queries, please. Majabin ma'am, I think there are no queries. You can close the session.
Okay, ma'am. Participants are requested to please wait while I'm sharing feedback link in a chat box. Please wait. Please check your chat box. I provided feedback link, and you all are requested to please fill the feedback form. This is mandatory. Also, I would like to say, this session was actually one-sided. As of now, I see there was very lack of interaction, and that is because we are not practicing data in our data regularly. So we somewhere forget few formulas and which model to apply and analysis if we want to do any particular analysis, and what particular analytical tool we would be applying for getting accurate analysis which can be helpful for the corporate. So with this point that we can take these sessions as an initial level of HR analytics, we can go ahead with our practice. So closing this session of MDP, might note that we really had a very great session with a few lauded professors and practitioners. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.